Ding, it is 10 o'clock on the west coast of the United States of America. It is 0500 GMT. It is Saturday night on the west coast. It is Sunday morning on the in the Greenwich time, London area. And this is the Fast Food Junk Food Extravaganza. I'm Sebastian.
I'm Sarah Bell.
And what do we have coming up this week, Sarah Bell? You sent me so many good goddamn stories on Facebook.
I have sent you a number of stories. I think the first one, because it is hailing from my new adoptive home state, is a study done by Oregon University that junk food can hurt your brain.
Yes, you sent me this. Junk food can hurt your brain. Now, talk about this story a little bit. Let me find it here. Hold on. Junk food can hurt your brain on Yahoo, it is.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be able to show everyone. But go ahead and read the story here as soon as it loads.
Yeah, there was a study conducted by Oregon State University and published in the Journal of Neuroscience that suggested that the high-fat, high-sugar diets have an actually detrimental effect on people, and they're referring it to as cognitive flexibility or the power to adjust and adapt to situations. So it's one of those ones that basically they did a study on mice because, you know, they're the closest things to humans. Apparently,
as far as brain chemistry and a bunch of reasons, yes.
Right. So basically, they gave them a high-fat, high-sugar diet, which I can say I subscribe to that diet.
Me too.
And they monitored them over 4 weeks and found that the rats that were on the high-fat, high-sugar were having a problem adjusting to mazes and basic puzzles. So that they could do before the diet.
Yeah, I see. So the things they could do, they suddenly forgot how to do, like puzzles and shit.
Yeah.
We're not sure what messages are being sent, but we are tracking down the pathways and the effects. The mental and physical performances of the rats fed on a high sugar started to drop significantly after about 4 weeks, especially when one or more variables in the test changed. Of the most disparate physiological factors in the group of mice, and the suspected reason was gut bacteria. We've been hearing a little bit about this on this show for a while because the guy,
we talked about that before.
There was a guy, I think he was either a guy in India or a guy from India in England, I think. But either way, the story was that he had a book out claiming that he only eat fast food, then your gut bacteria go nuts or something, and that can make you sick. And to do that, he subjected his son to an all McDonald's diet, and then claimed that his son got very sick. Do you remember this?
I remember we talked about this, and they were from a country that did not have the processed high sugar, high fat foods. And so if your system's not used to that, of course, you are going to start feeling all these different effects.
Yeah. By the way, if you heard the noise on my side earlier, I decided the snack of the night would be lovely microwave popcorn.
My snack of the night are these. Oh, don't these look like normal golden Oreos? Looks like a normal one. Oh, look at how thin that is. It's like wafer thin. So these are the new... The new thin Oreos.
Yeah, I have a million questions. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Because of the scale. Is the cookie thinner as well as the stuff, or is it just the stuff that is thinner?
No, the cookie and the stuff are thinner. I would say that the two cookies together make the same amount of cookie as one normal cookie.
I got to tell you, off the top of my head, I don't hate that. I feel like if I had a complaint about the original Oreo, and I don't like original Oreos or most Oreos, and the reason is those cookies are too dry. Mm-hmm. You know, like for cookies, I like to eat big, soft, chocolate chip kind of cookies, the soft Chips Ahoy, for instance, or something like that. And I take a glass of milk with those, but I don't want a kind of cookie where I have to have 2 glasses of milk or soak it in the milk for a long time to have it be anything but other super crunchy. And all of those kind of shortbread consistency cookies are the same for me. But if there's less of them, I got to say, I don't hate that idea. You know?
I really like them. I like that there's less of it because I find when I have an Oreo, a normal one, whether it's the golden or the traditional, I'm just chewing and chewing and chewing. And sometimes I will twist off the normal Oreos and just eat the side with no frosting, just the wafer itself, and give the wafer side to my boyfriend, and he'll stack two of them together and get a double stuff. But anyway,
oh, so
like
wait a second. So you don't like the white stuff?
Not as much. I really don't like it as much. So this wafer to frosting ratio is pretty good. I like it.
I will say again, I believe I said it first last week on this show, that I don't know, call me crazy, but I think I have a name for that cookie. The cookie that is an Oreo variety cookie, but it has the s'mores flavor, so like graham cracker cookies and like chocolate and marshmallow. What's the name I came up with on this show, by the way?
S'morios.
S'morios, exactly right. Yes, S'morios. I believe it's one of those things where I really believe firmly that either they had a meeting and rejected it. Like, I find it inconceivable that name did not at least come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is such a twist on the thing. And everybody I've said goes, oh, what $1 million idea. How come they didn't, they all agree with me. That's what those cookies should have been called. So is it just so obvious that they didn't think of it? Or did they think of it and reject it? This is the question I'm asking, Well,
and then I also think about when they launch new products, they have all of their interns scour the web to see if that name already exists. So maybe there's a porn blog out there called S'morios that they didn't want to be associated with something that already was existing that was kind of taking that name.
That may well be the case. Hold on one second. I'm trying to advertise I went to the Trekkie chat, but my name changed. So I am trying to it seems in the Trekkie chat right now as though I am attempting to just be this weird guest person with no name saying, "Hey, come watch me on camera." And I need to tell them who I am now because I went ahead and dropped the link to the show, but now they don't know, like, who the fuck are you and why are you putting YouTube?
Right, why are you doing this?
Yes. So what do you think? I mean, back to our original story. Yeah. The science, the validity of the science. We both have kind of different takes on it. What is your sense that the science is bad or that the methodology is bad, or do you think it's good?
You know what? I actually think it's good because I can definitely tell myself as someone who is a diabetic, who is uncontrolled diabetic, and I don't take care of myself. I can tell at the beginning of the month when I have more money to buy real food, as in chicken and pork and beef, versus towards the end of the month where I'm running on fast food, the 2 burgers for $1. I feel better when I have real food. I definitely, notice.
And I guess that was my question, was that, like, very rarely do I notice. Now, this is coming from the perspective of a non-diabetic person who has not any health problems at all, is not, like, you know what I'm saying? Look at me. It's not, I'm somehow super scrawny despite the fact that I eat like shit. And I eat like shit because it doesn't make me feel bad, I don't.
Right.
But I hear other people, with my family and other friends of mine, who say, God, I can't eat that stuff. I feel like shit the next day. I'm like, you know what? That is, I wish that didn't happen. It doesn't happen to me. So I always feel like that's kind of a weird thing about fast food. Maybe it's me. I don't know if it's me or if it's the rest of the world that's strange. But, you notice when you eat nothing but shit, you feel shittier.
Yeah, I definitely noticed when I got my new job and I was getting paid weekly again versus my last job when I was getting paid, once every month, that driving into work, I was grabbing fast food with my coworker. We would stop at Taco Bell or McDonald's or Burger King and get, the 2 for $4 sandwiches. And I did kind of feel more sluggish when I had more money to buy the fast foods versus when I have less money and I'm eating cereal in the morning.
And I feel like one of the things about that, and I don't know, maybe this is like sort of valid thinking and maybe it's not, but I mean, there are some people who would say, of course, no shit, Sherlock, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, what you're taking in is really not that much different from the food you'd make at home. In fact, you have even made the statement, and I think that's true, that depending on exactly who's doing the cooking at home, food at home can be just as fatty and bad for you as fast food can be. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that actually leads us to another story that I had sent you.
Okay.
Saying that restaurant food, as in your typical sit-down meal that people will usually consider healthier, has just as high as sodium and cholesterol content as compared to fast food chains.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me find that story because I don't have it pulled up here. But if you have it, go ahead and say what it is. Because I remember this. This is the study about... or the story about, tell me the story.
So there was a study, and I'm looking to see who did the study, but it was saying that choosing restaurant food over fast food meals to keep things healthier is not a wise choice after all. Some restaurant foods are packaged with the same amount of calories that you get when you're getting those burgers and fries at the fast food chains. Oh, here it is. It looks like the researchers at the University of Illinois looked at national data. Okay, it's a little bit old, from 2003 to 2010, involving more than... Huh?
Can you send me that link again? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't have the story to pull it up here. I'm trying to pull it up desperately, and I'm not. I'm just on my Facebook page. Now all of the show is seeing my stupid-ass Facebook page, as though that's what they came to watch. Obviously, they came to watch Seabass. Let's just put fucking Facebook on the screen. No, but I think that's also another one of those stories that, I mean, it sounds like we've had two of these stories in the same category, Here is the story that we're talking about, just so in case you're, trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. Restaurant food is just as bad as fast food, according to this study from from HNGN, which is what? HNGN.com. It's not a website I've heard before, and usually I take that into consideration, whether or not I've heard.
Right. It's saying that it was from the University of Illinois, is the one who published the data. It shows that restaurant foods contain more nutrients, such as some vitamins and potassium, but they also have higher sodium and cholesterol contents than some fast food chains. And this study is saying that home-cooked meals can be about 200 calories less compared to restaurant and fast food meals.
Okay. So home-cooked meals are somewhat... 200 calories is not a lot of calories,
Not a lot of calories. That's a soda. I mean...
So, yeah, that's kind of, I guess, that's sort of the point, right? Is that... if you talk about, hey, if you eat at home and not at a restaurant or fast food, well, the difference between restaurant food and fast food is really small. And then the difference between, eating out and eating at home is much smaller than we thought.
Right.
That's something. That's really interesting to me. People who ate at full-service restaurants consume significantly more cholesterol than people who ate at home. So that's a take-home message. Cholesterol is higher if you eat out than if you eat at home. But what's the other side of that? Just recently was in the news that the medical thinking is changing regarding cholesterol, right? And they were saying that the cholesterol you eat is not nearly as important as the cholesterol you already have. In other words, I guess that it gets excreted. If you eat too much cholesterol, if you don't eat enough, your body makes its own. If you eat too much, it's not as, I think, bad for you. Now I got to pull up that news story again because I feel like I'm putting that wrong. But I mean, what do you think about that? This kind of new difference that really there's not a lot of difference no matter where you go.
Right. I think that sometimes on a Saturday, like date day, it's like, okay, well, are we going to go to Chili's or Ruby Tuesdays or Red Robin and have a burger, or get a burger like at Burger King? And we always think that Burger King is a little bit less healthful than, say, Red Robin. But I do find that
Right.
when I go to a sit-down restaurant and they have the appetizer menu and the refillable drinks and the dessert menu and the shakes, that you end up having more calories intake because there's more options than when you're at a drive-through, you know?
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. I don't know. I kind of wanted to see this Reuters health story or the email that they're saying that this original article came from. I feel like Reuters does a really good kind of job on these health stories. Home cooking is still the best way to control the calories, fat, and sugar. And that's kind of how they spun it. It seems like eating food from restaurants, whether from fast food places or better establishments, led to an increase in calories. Again, I sort of wish I heard somebody saying that's not as big a difference as it could be, or as that we thought. You know what I'm saying? It seems like everybody's saying, oh, well, restaurant food is worse for you. And it's like, well, A, no shit, Sherlock, but B, the real headline is that it's not as much of a difference as we thought.
Yeah, it looks like that bottom paragraph, it says about the participants who ate at home versus restaurants consumed 190 more calories per day. Again, that's like a soda.
Yeah, well, okay, just to compare, since you can say that's like a soda, but let's actually look at the soda that I am drinking here. The calories here for this 1 liter of soda, this is this is more than a can of soda. Here is a can of soda, 12 ounces. This 1 liter, it's one of those things where there's about 3 servings, so it's like, right, I guess 3 times of a can, 3 cans of soda in here, but this has 170 calories. And that's almost exactly what the number is in this article, 190.
Yeah.
Ah, delicious. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make up that difference here because I eat at home most of the time. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. Like, I really feel like the article says what I'd expect it to say, but I feel like the headline is not exactly right. Like, that's a small difference. People are more likely to have
headlines are more grabby, get your attention kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, let's speaking of grabbing your attention, the news story I saw for this next article this week, I like a lot because this man and his burrito took better engagement photos than most couples did. Now, this is I don't know why this article intrigues me so, but I just thought this was so good. Hopefully I can make the article come up here and we can, the shockwave crash has flashed. I'm sorry. Okay. There we go. There's the picture. Him and his burrito there on the screen in the park. I don't know what the hell this damn thing is doing. Okay. There's the photo. Him and his burrito in the park. He's a writer in San Francisco. And he, of course, everybody's a writer in San Francisco, apparently tired of the stereotypical couple pictures plaguing his Facebook timeline. He took matters into his own hand and had professional photographer take some stunning engagement photos of him and a tasty burrito. All around San Francisco, Sikorsky and his bean, rice, and probably guac-filled lover pose in surprisingly beautiful shots till indigestion or high cholesterol do they part. Let's actually try and see here. Oh God, what is happening? There is music or something playing on this that I did not want to happen. Here we go. Him on the beach. Him on the bench. I like that. He's actually really cute in that picture. Him on, I don't know what that is, some rock wall or something.
It's some sort of rock. Does he have a man bun? If he has a man bun, I'm going to be disappointed.
And I think, he's got a cute smile. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why this is so funny, except that it's somehow nobody's ever done this before. He's on his San Francisco Giants picnic blanket in the city there. Wow. I've been right down that very street. Okay, whatever.
Oh, that's great, though.
So is this an artful commentary? He's popping champagne with his burrito in what looks like the Golden Gate Park there. There he is in the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't know. Somehow I got to thinking, isn't something missing from this tour through San Francisco, yes, that would be the Golden Gate Bridge. But it's not missing. It's right there at the end.
Right there.
So is this an artful commentary? Is this really funny? Or is this just some guy trying to get a Mashable article written about him? Like, I don't know. I keep going back and forth.
Oh, one of two ways. I kind of just see it as the tongue-in-cheek. Everyone on my Facebook feed is annoying because they have all these disastrous couple photos. I can see that angle because that's the angle that comes up the most. The other angle I kind of see it as is the artistic commentary of how much we love our food. But I don't think he's going for the latter. I think he's just trying to be funny.
Yeah, I think so too. Popcorn. So, okay. Well, let's move on then. I just really like that Twitter feed and that post. And so that made me thank God, what a funny article that is. Okay. The next one is a very serious article, Sarah Bell.
Very serious.
We got to talking about cholesterol. Oops, I switched it back to me, didn't I? We got to talking about cholesterol and the cholesterol that you eat not being as big of a deal. That's what I was going to look up here. Hold on. Cholesterol, eat. Let's just see. Like, restaurant food. All kinds of those articles about restaurant food versus home food.
It's right there. Most people have cholesterol all wrong.
Oh, right you are. Okay, good. Right before July 4th, this article came out. This is from Australia, of all places. So, but food cholesterol is different from blood cholesterol. Okay. And let's see here. I'm just sort of skimming this article because it's been a while since I read it. In fact, we make far more cholesterol than we eat. The liver adjusts its cholesterol production to account for what we eat, and we'll get rid of any cholesterol it doesn't need. So even if you eat a ton of cholesterol, it will have little to no effect on the blood cholesterol, and that was the news story. So now we switch to eggs. Do you like eggs?
I like eggs, and I know exactly where you're going with this.
Yeah. What do you think about where I'm going with this? Because I love eggs, and I was concerned the last time I bought eggs.
I have been seeing the price of eggs rise slowly in Costco because that's where I get my eggs because they're probably the cheapest there. And I've seen them go 18-pack from $3 and change up to almost $6 and change.
Funny that you mentioned that because I actually bought my first 18-pack of eggs this week because of the prices. And it was funny because I was shopping and I got to see in the price. I'm like, it is, what was it? I think it's like $3.79 for a dozen eggs, $3.99 for 18. And I'm like, well, shit, 20 cents more for 6 more eggs? Fuck yeah, right. Especially given how much higher that, it used to be like you can get a half dozen eggs for like 69 cents or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
that half dozen in the grocery store is always weird. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes they came attached. Like if you bought a dozen, it might actually be 2 half dozens that weren't broken apart. But so every so often when I would not want to get a bunch of eggs, I'd get that little 6 thing of eggs because it's like 69 cents. It's like buying an orange or something like that. It's like very, very low price. And 6 eggs is like 2 big omelets. So I was always big on eggs. But now the price has gone up. And what else is going on is even more scary. Fast food chains are taking eggs off the menu. God save us all. Okay. It's from the avian flu, killing millions of birds. 48 million birds have had the flu since December, causing an egg shortage, making restaurants modify their menus. Panda Express is the latest chain to take a hit because of the increase in egg prices. The chain removed eggs from its fried rice and replaced them with corn in June. They were also forced to discontinue hot and sour soup, looking like the eggs will not return to the menu anytime soon. No, like egg drop soup or hot and sour soup, that would bother me. Yeah, I love hot and sour soup. We have been informed by suppliers that the egg shortage will last 18 to 24 months. So this is like for the next 2 fucking years. We can count on, I don't know, like maybe I'll buy the bigger things of eggs to try and reduce that price difference so much, but it's not a small fucking difference. Like eggs are way expensive right now.
Yeah, they're really expensive, and the liquid eggs that they use for the restaurants, that's what's really being impacted. And the Panda Express putting corn in instead of eggs. Twitter is just, aflame because so many people are upset that the fried rice is different.
Right. What I was looking at in this article is that 71% price surge from May to June. So they've almost doubled in price, producer prices for eggs. Consumer prices are also jumping. An egg prices at major chains rising to a range of $1.99 to $3.49. An egg? Oh no. Large grade A and USA egg prices are ranging from, okay, so is that for a dozen, I guess? Yeah.
I think it's for a dozen. It's got to be for a dozen.
Up to from $2.79 a year ago. $2.79 was the highest priced, now $3.49. And I think it's actually, at least it was higher than that, I think, the last time I saw it. So, I don't know. Whataburger, it said, faced a major backlash after it was forced to shorten its breakfast window. So, you know how I always complain that McDonald's breakfast should be 24 hours? And recently, that's turned to the truth. Like, that's one of the ways McDonald's is trying to make people like it more, is opening breakfast 24 hours some places. So, yeah, Whataburger lasted about 3 weeks saying its breakfast was going to be shorter, and went back to the, I guess, ending at 10:30. We know it's been a tough couple of weeks for our customers, but we're really grateful for their support while we work to build up our egg supply. So maybe it was only supposed to be temporary. Do you know who Rita's is?
Oh, go ahead.
I was asking if you know what Rita's is. It says
Rita's does not sound familiar to me, but I know that we have an ice cream place here in Portland that's Culver's Custards or something like that.
Yes.
And they are limiting their custard supply because the eggs are harder to get.
Oh, interesting. What this is saying is that the company does not Rita's does not guarantee prices won't be affected. So it may be that the price, the amount you pay for egg dishes will go up. And
because Rita's is an ice cream. So they're replacing it with soft serve.
And so I guess this is another way in which eggs are being pushed out. These are anti-egg people. No, I mean, it's not one of those things where you can blame anybody. It's like, how do you blame the chickens for getting the chicken flu?
When I was watching the news today, they did say that right now, because of the hot temperatures, the frequency of the influenza is going down because the virus cannot survive in the hot temperatures. But as soon as we get into autumn and the weather cools down, they're expecting to see cases rising again.
That is awesome. So there's totally a bee in here right now, and I may die. I'm not exactly terrified of bees. I'm not allergic, but there's a bee in here, and I want to go get bug spray to kill it. But like, even that I feel guilty about because bees are now like fucking endangered, right? Because of the bee colony collapse.
Yeah, bees are dying out, and they don't know why. And there are all kinds of little tips online that if you see a bee struggling flying, like it can't fly, you're supposed to give it honey water or sugar water to help revive it because there's not enough water sources or something for the bees. I don't know.
It's a loud bee. This is like a really loud bee. So keep talking for a minute. And I'm going to go get the bug spray because I'm too scared. Hold on.
You're too scared.
Go ahead and talk about the article for a minute. There's a lot of good stuff here. I'll be back in 60 seconds, I swear.
Okay, you'll be back in 60 seconds. One of the articles that I have here for you guys, and I'll go ahead and see if I can share it with everyone, is basically a young man. Let's see here. There it is. A young man in eastern China is blaming an Americanized diet for having growing breasts. Here's a photo of not the young man in question, who was a 26-year-old college graduate who said that he developed breasts, and the doctors were saying it was probably also because of his American diet. That, to me, does not really look like breasts as much as swollen nipples. I'm not sure. But apparently
I'm sorry,
What?
I'm sorry, I came back and you're talking about swollen nipples?
There's a young man in China who has developed breasts, and doctors are blaming his American diet for it.
Yes. I have that article. I'm trying to get out from under the bee, but hold on, I have that article here.
I have it up on screen share also.
Okay, let me switch it to you. I don't know if you can see me, but here's Sarah. Okay, go ahead. Dear.
Yeah, do you have the screen? Yeah. So I've got the article still pulled up. But basically what it was is that his family thought that he was developing breasts because of his weight, but it wasn't that. They said that his favorite meals were Western foods and fizzy drinks, which I'm guessing is going to be, just normal soda. They went ahead and actually took the young man to a hospital to have his breast removed. It was a 2-hour procedure, and they were saying that the shape of his breasts were that almost of an adolescent girl. So I'm just imagining. Actually, I don't know what I'm imagining.
Well, okay, so I have a question. What it sounds like is I'm trying to figure out if it is him growing just, how big boys, fat boys can kind of get
moves
breasts going. They kind of talked about it in Seinfeld a little bit, and I'm not trying to make fun. Sort of people who are of a certain weight, of a certain heft, guys,
right?
Get big pec muscles, just big sort of almost boobs. They made fun of it in Seinfeld. But my question is it that? Is he just getting fat, or is it hormonal? Is he growing girls' breasts because of hormone changes? You know what I'm saying? The difference?
Right. Well, the doctors were saying that it is a combination of food and environmental factors. They don't say what the environmental factors were. There was also a 26-year-old man who had a similar condition. We actually have a photo of him. I'll do a screen share. This is what you missed.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Those are his breasts, and they don't look much like breasts to me as much as that swollen nipple.
Okay. Well, it looks to me somewhere between swollen nipple and how do I say this? A super petite girl's bosom.
Right.
A super petite girl's boobs kind of maybe look like that. People are like, how do you know, Seabass? And I'm like, well, I read.
And you did Rocky Horror for a number of years, and there were half-naked girls running around.
I have many, many naked girls who kind of were. By the way, happy birthday to our friend Ashley.
Ashley?
Actually, I think it was yesterday was her birthday. She's actually in Tucson again to see her parents for her birthday, and I was hoping to actually be out at the dessert place you and I used to go to and go from there with one of those things, but did not occur, sadly. But tell me more about the boob guy.
Well, I mean, that was about it for the boob guy. Just saying that it was the fizzy drinks.
They don't know him.
Yeah. But it was a 2-hour surgery for him to get his breasts removed. And I've always kind of thought that the food that we eat does have an impact on ourselves, because when I've seen young teenage females, they're way more developed than when I was a teenager. And someone had mentioned, oh, well, they all drink Starbucks and all those cows have hormones in them. So that's why the young girls are developing younger and younger. And I'm like, or they got really good bras. I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. There's a whole bunch of shit kind of happening at once, I feel like. Part of it is psychological, in that the whole culture is getting sort of younger and younger, as far as I feel like, there's pressure on girls at a younger age to look sexy, and so they try to maybe make themselves look like that. But I mean, it sounds like the statistics are showing that kids are actually hitting puberty earlier, both girls and boys, by the way.
Right.
Boys are also sort of having those changes at earlier ages. Nobody fucking knows why, I don't think. Like, I don't think anybody even has a remote theory. People like to blame it on the hormones in the milk or whatever, but until there's science.
That's the thing. When I was, working at a coffee house, I saw the young teenagers. I saw young women drinking more and more of the coffee drinks. And like I've always said, Starbucks drinks are not coffee. It's milk with coffee flavor.
Right.
You've got a 21-ounce thing of milk and 1 ounce is coffee.
Yeah.
And,
we've talked about that before. And it's very funny to me that, I mean, people want it to be the hormones. What if it's the fucking caffeine? What if it's the high sugar, high processed sugar in the what if they used only the turbinado sugar, the unrefined sugar? Would this happen? There's no way to know. All we know is it's happening kind of to it doesn't seem like it's happening to, people who eat meat or who don't eat meat. It doesn't seem like it's happening to any one group of children, right? White children, black children, Asian children, whatever the ethnicity is. I feel like it's kind of happening culturally or overall.
Right.
And so what does that point to scientifically? I have no fucking idea.
I have no clue either.
It's obviously maybe the scientists don't either. Let's look at some of those other articles. By the way, if you want to call in, the number is on your screen. Well, it was a second ago. 310-776-5869 is my phone number. You will call my silly ass cell phone right here, and you can speak to us on a shitty speakerphone, or you can send us a tweet or a text to that message, or a tweet to my address or Sarah Bell's address.
Right here.
Restaurant food is not much different. We did that article. Let's look at this one. Junk food can hurt your brain. The man and his burrito. The avian flu. How about this one? Oh, this is the one you were talking about. It's in China. The boy with his breasts are in China. Okay. I just sort of want to look at it really fast, because why are they necessarily looking at the food? What if it's in the smog, or what if it's in the pollution, or what if it's just a medical problem he was genetically going to have in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
Fully formed breasts. Okay, so development of his mammary glands, and it's not just fat. Like, these are actual breasts of the literal sense. I keep, probably conflating my thought of a fat guy's kind of big chest with actual breasts. So the procedure, liposuction, breast surgery. According to diagnosis from doctors there, the breasts were down to a mix. Malmo's breasts were down to a mix of environmental factors and estrogen found in food. Okay. Like, they've said that about a million things, I feel like, over time, though. One of the things they used to say that about was boys who would smoke pot. That was kind of one of the things they tried to scare boys with. Younger teenage boys, they tell them, well, you can have this condition, gynecomastia, it's called, and that's where you grow breasts because of hormone changes, and the hormone changes are caused by all that weed that you're smoking. I don't know if there was ever actual real medicine behind that, but I have heard that as a connection, one of those things you hear. And the other one was what? Soybeans. Too many soybeans have a lot of estrogens, or I don't think plant estrogens are the same thing as like person estrogens. So again, I feel like that's sort of one of those things you hear that may or may not have any science behind it.
Right.
I just like looking at pictures of chicken wings. Another case surfaced yesterday where 26-year-old college graduate identified as Mr. Lee has also developed breasts. Not Mr.
That's
Lee.
the photo I was showing you.
That's very specific. Mr. Lee. There's only a couple of those in the countries of Asia. Fried chicken wings and drumsticks. So this is specifically the hormones in chicken. They say. Doctors advise more fresh fruits and vegetables for patients in both cases. I don't know, man. I feel like this is... I feel like it's the fruit and vegetable growers that are pushing news stories like this. Like, this does not really have any truth to it. Actually, it totally probably could, although I don't believe that, what if it's not the hormones? What if it's a million other things common to those foods? I don't know.
Right.
Let's look at this next story, because this is all about Big success. What do you say is probably the most? I mean, we looked at a survey that said the most successful fast food companies. What do you think is the most successful one?
I would always say the McDonald's used to be the most successful.
True. I don't think that's true anymore. I think one of the most
used to be
successful ones is Chipotle.
Yeah.
And let's see here. The earnings report delivered by PepsiCo. Oh, I see. This is not necessarily fast food as much as junk food. PepsiCo, which raised its full-year earnings expectations after delivering a second quarter profit that topped analysts' expectations. So PepsiCo's doing well in financial ways. The company has faced some headwinds, a stronger dollar hurting overseas sales, blah, blah, blah. Pepsi's ace in the hole, Frito-Lay snacks, because they are responsible for more than $1 billion of the company's $3 billion. That's a full third of the money Pepsi made from Frito-Lay snacks. All the different chips. They also deliver Cheetos and Doritos, but the Frito-Lay brand is a third of their business worldwide. Demand for its snacks is increasing. It's diversified its portfolio to include healthier options like a Stacy's pita chips, oven-baked chips, and smart food popcorn. That I like. The smart food popcorn, the white cheesy popcorn, that has always been really good, like pre-popped popcorn. If you have to have pre-pop, that was the popcorn to get. But it's not just the healthier choices that are making an impact. The Frito-Lay North America business is built on popular brands like Doritos, adding a line called Doritos Roulette, which features the occasional spicy chip mixed in with its classic nacho cheese. Have you seen this?
I have not seen it. I've seen it online of people kind of sitting around playing Russian roulette, but I have not seen it in stores.
I see. I have seen something like this before, and I guess the thing is, it wasn't so much built on the mystery. It was just like 2 flavors of chips in one bag.
Right.
Which itself was kind of a new thing. This is sort of topping that by making it like a game of Russian roulette, essentially. By every 5th chip you buy will be fucking on fire and kill you. But what do you think of that idea? Do you like that idea? Like, or were you ever one of the people who ate those hot tamales candies and thought the same thing?
Well, you know me, I can't stand hot food. I just can't do it. There is something that my friend bought. I think it might have been a white elephant gift or something like that, but it was Russian roulette chocolates. And
God, don't tell me.
The box had 6 bullet-shaped chocolates, and 5 of the chocolates were just like caramel filled or something else.
And the 6th one, I hope the 6th one had like cyanide or something.
Chili pepper. It had like a whole chili pepper in it. So
I think I'd rather have the cyanide, frankly. And that's what's weird is I talk about how I don't like spicy foods, and I really don't. 95% of them. The one spice I do occasionally like, and I don't count curry in that, but the one sort of American spice that I do like is a little bit of cinnamon, like those hot tamales candies I used to really like. And not the super hot variety, but it seemed like later they had a kind of their candy where every 10th one was like 100 times hotter than the other, you know. And I kind of thought I didn't like it, but I kept eating it. Like somehow that's the kind of candy that it makes you want more the second you have one, you know?
Not me. No, not me.
No? What about Mike and Ike's, the non-spicy ones?
Oh, no, Mike and Ike's are okay. I have a thing about chewing candy. I would rather just suck on a candy until it dies. So things like Mike and Ike's, you have that first outer waxy layer and then the next layer. So it's a whole process. And I don't know, I'm just not the biggest fan of that kind.
That's not your kind of candy. I mean, it's a very fine line between that and like gummy bears. But I feel like at the same time, for some of us, like, you know, it's also a fine line with sweet and sweet plus salty. So that's your version of my sweet and salty rule. No sweet and salty in my mouth ever at the same time. I don't care. I don't care if it will save a 747 full of air passengers' lives to eat that shit. I don't think I could do it. Just really bad. Okay, so you had a review. This is a very important moment for the show, by the way, because you are invited to participate at the number on your screen or on the Twitter feed you see here. What I was going to say was you sent me a review this week, and it was not a lot of words. It was meaningful, and I mean, I wanted to send out a breaking news tweet because of it. And
Right.
Just say what your experience was. You went to Taco Bell this week and had a less than great experience with one food we've talked about a lot on this show.
One food we've actually been anticipating for a while is their Captain Crunch Bites. We've talked about this, I think, since I was in studio back in the winter. So this is a good 6-7 months.
We have definitely talked about it longer than it has existed in stores, right?
Right, it came out this month.
We were talking about it, it had not come out yet. We sort of like broke that story on this show in a very real way.
Yeah, we've been waiting for the Captain Crunch Bites, and all of the publicity photos are definitely, like all fast food publicity photos, underwhelming. The shots online have these nice pink colored little balls with the outside of the ball in a Captain Crunch like powder.
I'll tell you what, let's look at it. Let's pull it up here on Google really fast. Taco Bell, and it's called the Crunch.
Crunch Berry.
Right here. Okay, yes, we see pictures here.
And I would say that third photo is it's an actual in-restaurant photo. Mine weren't even that red. Mine were kind of like an overdone brown. You couldn't tell if it was really supposed to be a crunch berry, and the stuff on the outside, the coating, did not have the multiple colors like that photo showed. Also, the filling, nothing like the filling in any of those photos.
How about this? Because this is like the YouTube video where you learn how to make them at home.
I would say that's closer. Yeah, because it was more brown than pink.
Brown with some crusty stuff on it rather than pink with more crusty stuff on it, right?
Right.
And nowhere near this color of red.
And like a lot of reviewers out there, the filling was not as thick as all of the promotional photos. Like that shows... It looks like there's stuff in it. The other ones, it just...
I will say this.
More like it, yeah.
I've almost always been disappointed in the amount of filling in things, just in general, right? I don't care whether you're talking the amount of frosting on Frosted Mini Wheats, or if you're talking about, the filling, of a jelly donut, for instance, a regular jelly donut. I never thought that had enough filling. Pop-Tarts do not have enough filling. Toaster strudel do not have enough filling. And almost always universally, the pictures of these items show a gigantic fucking thing of filling coming out the middle of it. Universally, like Pop-Tarts always look like they have more stuff inside than they really do.
Yeah, they always look like you're jam-packed with jelly. No. These Captain Crunch Bites just were underwhelming. They didn't taste like anything. I was really expecting that nice crunch berry kind of flavor, because I know that when I go to the grocery store, I will pass up the Captain Crunch with berries for just the Oops All Berries.
Yo, I absolutely agree with you, and I will say that I didn't know that was a marketing gimmick the first time years ago when I bought them. I thought I actually had scored something. Like, I thought I had scored something because I had, dude, like somebody wrote "oops" with marker on it. Like, I was so fucking gullible. It was ridiculous. And I'm usually a lot more skeptical than that, so I was disappointed in myself, but not enough to stop buying the cereal. Those all berries version of the Captain Crunch thing.
Oh, so good.
Spectacular. And my only complaint about Captain Crunch is the yellow part, the sharp part that is left out of the all crunch berries, just like my complaint about the Lucky Charms is that it got dog food in it, that white kibble shit that I hate.
Well, you can buy Lucky Charms, just the marshmallows.
Hold on. Stop everything. What did you just say?
Online, I think specifically, like on Amazon, you can buy just Lucky Charms marshmallows.
Okay, we're doing this right now. That's all I can say is we're going to the internet right now, and we're gonna see because I had no idea this is the case. Is this true? You can buy.
I've seen. Yeah, you can buy, just like how you can buy by the pound, all red Starburst or all yellow Starburst.
You can get just one type, a specific type of marshmallows, Lucky Charms. Is this really going to... Cereal marshmallows, 21 ounces. No bullshit. By Discount Herbals? I don't know if I trust that. Assorted dehydrated cereal marshmallow bits. So this is essentially it, right? You're talking about this.
Yeah, the assorted dehydrated...
Oh my God. Cerebell.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. And it will come to you. There's a photo somewhere on like Reddit or Imager of this guy holding just a giant bag. I mean, it's more than 8 pounds. I want to say it's like, giant. But yes, you can buy just the marshmallows.
Okay. Well, again, we have talked on this show about how we have come a long way in the marshmallow department, right? Marshmallows used to be big and small. And they used to be, big and small, and then they had white and multicolored. That was it, right? You had those 4 colors. And sometimes you could occasionally, I think, get the big multicolored, but not often.
Not often, no.
Always small. White, they came in big and small, but there was not a lot of marshmallow diversity. Now they got mint marshmallows and chocolate-covered marshmallows.
Coconut, strawberry.
Strawberry-flavored pink marshmallows. Like, there's a whole lot of marshmallow growth, including what's the #1 marshmallow innovation of our time, Sarabelle? You know what I'm going to say? The tiny
little marshmallows?
Not just those. The canister of those in grocery stores.
Yeah, that you can just shake into your hot chocolate.
Exactly, or into your hand. Let's face it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I do, or just straight into your fucking mouth if you're like me. But yeah, the innovation that is that canister of those dried marshmallows in the store, that's only been around maybe 2 years, if not less than that.
Yeah, I would say, about 2 years, because I saw them when I was up here in Oregon after 2012. So I was like, this is a new thing.
I've told you my marshmallow story before, haven't I?
Yes. But I'd love to hear it again.
Well, my marshmallow story is when I was in college in Phoenix, Arizona, actually Tempe. But I was living in Phoenix, just across the border in East Phoenix. It was not the ritzy part of Phoenix by any stretch, but it was just kind of outside there. So it was actually kind of a cute little apartment that I had. And up the street was a Safeway. And I went there and found a bag. Now, I said this is college, and that was not an accident that I said that. Like, let's just say this is Arizona State University. I was a sophomore, I guess. And there was occasional moments where I would have the munchies. I'll put it that way. I want to be delicate about this, but this is so help me the truth. And I would go to the grocery store, and there was once this kind of marshmallows I had never seen before. It was the toasted coconut exterior marshmallows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I bought a bag, and I'm like, these are different. I wonder if they're good. I was not sure they would be good, and I took one out, and I sucked all of the coconut off, and then I ate the marshmallow. I was like, dude, that is the best thing ever. And I finished off the bag, and I went back like the next day or something and got another bag, where I maybe even bought 2. Like, I bought 3 bags of this in all, and then I went back like the next week. And I said to a person at Safeway, I'm like, yeah, where were those toasted coconut marshmallows you guys had before? Like, this was at a time in my life, Sarabelle, when I only went to one store.
Right.
Okay? Like, I didn't go to a couple of stores in the area. I went to one grocery store this entire year I lived in Phoenix. And they looked at me when I asked them, where are these toasted they're like, toasted coconut marshmallows? We don't have that. We don't have that. What are you talking about, crazy person? That must have been at another store. Or, they just stopped this far away from calling me a fucking liar. Like, they didn't outright deny this existed. And I'm like, maybe it was all a dream, like, is this a Twilight Zone episode or something? Because I was, you know, I had the munchies a lot. We'll put it that way. And so then years later, like they discontinued it, or it was a test thing or whatever, but it was obviously not a long-term flavor. So yeah, I went back for years looking for toasted coconut marshmallows. And then finally, like 5 years ago, after 8 years of searching, they're on every shelf. They're, of course, that's a thing. What are you talking about?
Right, they're everywhere. Of course we have those.
Long, stupid, boring story, but I swear to God that's true, and it's my favorite marshmallow story because I swear to God, marshmallows made me think I was in the Twilight Zone. All of a sudden, everybody in the world was like, no, we've never had such a thing. What are these marshmallows of which you speak? You know, it's like,
we've never done this before. No, never.
Whatever. All right, we are almost done, Sarabelle. How are you feeling over there in Portlandia?
Portlandia is very warm at this time. It is let's see here. It is 81 still.
81 degrees in Portland right now, huh?
And it is 77 where you are, but...
Oh, wow. Look at this. I don't know if you can see raindrops on my phone. I think you can.
Little raindrops on the phone.
Like, it does this animation thing when it is raining outside. And a couple of times now I have had... I was showing you and not the audience. I should show the audience. Like, here's the phone, right? It rains on the thing of the phone. Back when I was in Denver over New Year's, I had this experience. It was the first time of several times this would happen where I'd turn on the phone and there would be weather animation. It's like, there are snowflakes falling on my phone.
Why are there snowflakes?
Why are there snowflakes? It ain't fucking snowing outside. And it was like totally snowing outside. Like it was really down hard. So yeah, there have been a couple times when, without realizing it, because snow is really quiet, I notice weather on the screen of my phone before I realize it's actually happening outside my window. And like 3 different times that has happened. So what is the temperature? You said, what is the humidity in Portland? I mean,
in Portlandia, let's see here, because we have not had rain in a while. It's actually kind of crazy. 34.
34%. Okay. Well, I don't know what the humidity is here in Tucson, but I know it's almost enough for it to be raining, so it's like it's kind of coming down outside.
It's 61 humidity in Tucson.
Yeah, it's super humid here because of all the monsoon action, and I believe there's like the remnants of a tropical depression or something that came through Mexico and are now right where I am.
Yeah, well, and there's a flood warning for your area, and yeah.
Is there? You know more about the weather here than I know, and I have paid for a weather app on my goddamn phone. Like this is not what I paid for. So here's what I think about the upcoming week.
Okay.
I am going to go to Taco Bell. I am going to order a fucking Captain Crunch donut hole thing. And I'm going to order a Cinnabon donut hole thing. I'm going to record it all on video. And we're going to have that video next week here because, goddamn it, I am very upset to learn that it was such a disappointing experience. We've looked forward to this food for 8 months.
I know. And I got the 4-pack because, you know, they had the option for the 2-pack or the 4-pack or the, you know, dozen or whatever. And I was like, I only feel like I want to eat the 2, but I'll get the 4 just in case, you know, I needed a wider sampling. And still, they were just so disappointing.
I don't know. I mean, part of my brain goes, yeah, I would be claiming that too. Like, yeah, that's a good way of rationalizing it. Yeah, sure it is. It's for science. It's for science and journalism because, goddammit, we are food journalists now. I don't care what anybody says. But
I think I sent you the disappointing Taco Bell thing, and you're like, really? At 9:16 in the morning?
No, that I was kidding. I mean, I hoped you would find that me because, like, you know, I eat shit. I, like, drink soda well into the morning hours, and sometimes I have, you know, like, very bad stuff in the morning. So I eat food at all times of day of all shitty qualities, and I make no bones about it. That's why that was funny. But I was much more upset to find out that it was disappointing. Like, holy fucking shit, dude. Because here's the thing. Why would I care about that if you could eat Captain Crunch in the morning? You ought to be able to eat Crunch donut. People eat donuts in the morning, too. So it's not really either one of those is not a breakfast food. That's kind of like breakfast food squared, if you want to know the truth.
Right.
And I really think that it has to be an anomaly, right? It has to have been a mistake that you got such shitty ones, and the ones I will get here will be phenomenal, and we will have to sort of... So we're going to do actual food reporting now.
Actual food reporting, okay.
Yeah, and I goddamn it, we will get to the bottom of this disappointing Taco Bell donut hole Captain Crunch story if it kills me, which it might. At any rate, well, say goodnight, Sarabelle.
Good night, Sarabelle.
Good night, Sarabelle, and good night, Sebastian. We will see you next week at 10 p.m. on the West Coast, 0500 Sunday morning, GMT. We will be back on Fast Food, Junk Food, Extravaganza. I'm Sebastian.
I'm Sarabelle.
Good night, and yes, enjoy some